This is a quick demonstration on F5 Distributed Cloud App Stack with high-performance Big IP VE with SR-IOV interface. This is a hybrid overlay architecture where Big IP management runs on F5XC overlay network, while the data planes runs on non-overlay network. This setup is to ensure high performance where Big IP VE uses SR-IOV interface card for a direct PCI pass-through. This is a high level on how the environment got set up. I have a Dell R740 bare metal server installed with AppStack and managed from F5 console. This Dell server equipped with an Intel SR-IOV card and capable of handling 128 virtual function and 40 gig of traffic throughput. However, in this demo setup, I only enable 64 virtual function. Big IP will be deployed on top of AppStack with the help of AppStack's native VM support. Maltus being installed manually and integrated with SR-IOV network device plugin. Maltus will plumb Big IP management interface onto AppStack native port network, while the remaining Big IP interfaces, which is inside VLAN and outside VLAN, will be plumbed onto SR-IOV virtual function. Data plane traffic will bypass the overlay network and direct to switches for performance reason, while management of Big IP will be via F5XC network. This provides the ability to advertise Big IP management via F5XC backbone, as well as provide security protection onto Big IP management network. Okay, let's see how the demos looks like. First of all, I have this AppStack, what I call Gladiator number 2, and currently there's no VM got set up on here. So what happened here is that I'm going to deploy Big IP VE on this COTS bare metal server with the AppStacks on top of it. So what happened is that, assuming that as an administrator I can go into the console and I can actually create, let's say if I want to do an onboarding from the console, but of course in this demonstration I'm not going to use the console for the orchestration. I have written a simple Ansible playbook where I can use it to do the similar function as per the console, but once this function is just for demonstration, it's not for production use on this Ansible playbook. Like for example, in this Ansible playbook, what I had is that typically you give the information like what's the device name, I call this a big IP1.xc, and then the password. This is all the standard information that you need to provide for example, I'm using a F5 declarative or onboarding to onboard the Big IP, as well as using some of the modules, Ansible modules to onboard the Big IP. In this terminal, I have logged on to a few terminal, so maybe I'm going to run commands to constantly monitor for this particular namespace. Currently, I haven't got anything installed. So in this terminal, I'm going to do a ping just to do the traffics. For example, I'm going to ping this IP address 22.2.0.5. This is the inside VLAN, and 25.2.0.5 is the outside VLAN. So currently it's not pingable, of course, because the IP is not onboarded yet. So what happens is that I am going to run the orchestration. So if I'm going to run this Ansible playbook, so what happened here is that it's actually you can see that it's actually spin up the Big IP VE. If I check the VM status, it's actually starting. So it's actually spin up. Currently for this Big IP VM, I'm just using VM disk, which of course the spin up time will be a lot faster. But of course in productions, probably we're going to use the data volume to have the persistence disk on the Big IP. So actually I can log in to the console of the Big IP. So I can use a command called virtctl to log on to this Big IP VE1. You can see that currently what happened here is that the orchestrations will try to wait for the Big IP to spin up. So now you can see from the Big IP console that it actually is spinning up. Currently I'm running this as a 16.1.2.1. So the other thing here is that although that you can see that Big IP is fully spun up, but it is not ready for configuration yet. So what happened here is that the script will actually monitor to make sure that the big IP, the MCPD, everything is actually ready to be configured. So hence that's why you can see that it's actually constantly check, wait for the big IP VE to be ready to take any configurations. So while waiting for this one, I can show you as well that if I run a D here, this MCPD is actually start running. So probably later on you can see that it's once the MCPD is running, the orchestrations will actually start configuring the box. Here, if I show you here, you can see that it's actually it assign a SR-IOV interface the PCI pass-through. This is via the mouters. Mouters will actually assign a PCI addresses to the inside interface and the outside interface. Okay, so now although that you can see it's done, so what I mean is that there's a couple of things happening here, just quickly so that you know what's happening at the back end. So remember that just now that this script is actually waiting for big IP to be ready to be configured. Then after that, it will, once it's ready, it will try to get an authentication token from the big IP. Then after that, it will try to upload a F5DO declarative onboarding, so that it can actually use the F5DO to do the onboarding. Then after that, it go to do the installation. Then after that, it validate to make sure that the box is really ready to be configured. So after that, it will do a preparations of the template. Then later on, it will try to do the configuring of the big IPVE. Then after that, check the readiness, wait, etc., etc. So technically speaking, see whether the ping is not up yet. Okay, so at the background of the big IP, indeed I can log in, but before I log in, maybe I'll just refresh here to show you that there will be a VM instance once running here. If I click on this one, you can see big IP VE1 is actually is running. But again, as I mentioned, running doesn't mean that the big IP is ready. Oh, I think you can see that the ping now is fully ready to take traffics. You can see that the ping now is working. Indeed, I can log in big IP1. This is actually advertised via the RE. From the RE, actually this is connecting from the RE. You can see that I can log into the big IP. It's all fully configured with whatever things that you define in the declarative onboarding. You can see that the VLAN here is configured internal, external, with the VLAN, then the self IP addresses as well, and as well as the rest of the configurations like DNS, NTP. Let's say, for example, if I go to the system configuration, let's say NTP is actually configured all the NTP, all the necessary informations to build this big IP. Indeed, maybe I can try to log in on the inside interface, SSH root at. Yep, you can see that now I'm logged in onto big IP number 1. So what I mean, you can see here that I successfully run a big IP VE with SR-IOV interfaces on top of the app stack. So indeed, the box that I had here, this is another VM that outside of the app stack that which I can ping it. You can see that it's all fully working. But of course, in the console here, you can see that this is running here, or maybe if I go to the service mesh here, probably you can see that actually I'm connecting from the this is a VE1. So probably this is a old this not healthy is the old one, but once it got refreshed, you will be able to see that actually I'm connecting from public to the big IP VE1. Pretty much that's it for the demo. Thank you.